Not long ago, Xiaomi sized up the Redmi Note 3 to make the gigantic Mi Max. Now, it just shrunk the Redmi Note 3 down to make the Redmi 3S Prime. The Redmi 3S Prime is simply the Redmi Note 3, only scaled down to fit the Redmi 2 Prime's cute and comfy 5 inches form factor. Hello guys, welcome back to In Depth, and today's video is all about the new budget segment hero, the Xiaomi Redmi 3S Prime. Launched with a very economical price at Rs 8,999, which translates it to be a sub 9,000 phone, the value that the company seems to offer with this phone is staggering. Let's talk about it in a more systematic way. Firstly, we'll look at the outer design and then move in to describe what lies inside that metal jacket. Moving on to the design and build quality of the phone, the design of this device follows the current trend these days. It basically is all about the full body metal design with a premium matte finish curving at the edges. These curves help in keeping the device shapely and in maintaining the overall thickness of the device with the 4100 mAh battery crammed into it. The back features the single LED flash, the 13 megapixel camera and the fingerprint sensor. As always, the top and the bottom end of the back are made of plastic for better network reception. The camera protrudes a little on the top end of the smartphone due to the curved back over the top. Also, the fingerprint scanner should have been placed a little lower than where it currently rests for the sake of the convenience of users with average sized hands. But you will get used to it after using it for a while. At the front end of the device, you can see an array of sensors, the earpiece and the 5 megapixel 1080p capable camera. Below it lies the 5-inch display. And below the display are the trademark Xiaomi navigation keys featuring the multitasking, the home button and the back button all in a single array, but like the ones on its predecessors, they are still not backlit. The LED notification light is right below the navigation keys. Also, the color of the notification LED may be customized for notifications, calls and messages. The front also has a rim running along the sides of the phone, which kind of protects the screen from scratches from a flat surface as it rests on the rim instead of the screen when kept facing down. Moving on to the right side of the device, which is home to the volume rocker and the power key, both of which provide for a solid tactile feel. On the left, it houses the SIM tray only, which is a hybrid SIM tray, implying that you may use 2 nano 4G enabled SIMs at a time or 1 nano 4G enabled SIM and 1 microSD card. On the top end of the device, we have the 3.5mm audio jack, the infrared ray blaster and the secondary noise cancellation microphone, while at the bottom end of the device, we have the primary microphone and the microUSB port for charging the device. Overall, it feels comfortable to hold and use the device in one hand owing to the good finish and the 5-inch form factor. The weight feels evenly distributed even after a 4100 mAh battery crammed inside the device. In short, the device feels solid and sturdy in the hand. The only small problem is that the device is a little bit slippery, so you may just want to slap on a back cover or a skin and you will be good to go. Moving on to the display of the device. The Redmi 3S Prime has a 5-inch 720p display with a 294 pixel density and an IPS panel. We are not nitpicking, but having a Full HD display today would have been a lot better, as every other phone in this price segment and even a few phones priced below it have a Full HD display. So this is a downside for an upgraded device. But for the consumer who wants the best configuration for his money, you might want to know that lower resolution will definitely save more battery, as the battery has lesser pixels per inch to push. Moving on, the outdoor brightness and the viewing angles are on point. The colors are sharp, lively, on the warmer side and definitely pop out. The read mode from the Redmi Note 3 is retained, but the sunlight mode is parted away with, which again is a downside. The hardware side of things is quite a story. It runs on a Snapdragon 430 system on chip and is the first device in India to support it. The Snapdragon 430 is an octa-core processor. which consists of the first 4 Cortex A53 cores clocked at 1.4 GHz and the last 4 Cortex A53 cores at 1.1 GHz. Graphic intensive tasks can be easily taken care of by the Adreno 505 GPU. You get 25 gigs out of the listed 32 GB of storage with 3 gigs of RAM at your disposal. And by the way, the non-prime version has 16 GB of storage with 2 gigs of RAM. The hardware sounds impressive, considering that all of this comes for under Rs 9,000 and it definitely makes this smartphone run smoothly. The device handles everyday tasks like a breeze, but you may notice slight stuttering or little lags in demanding games or applications like Dead Effect 2, Assassin's Creed Pirates, and in apps like Microsoft Excel. The output from the speaker grill is decent enough.
I wish I found some better sounds no one's ever heard. I wish I had a better voice to sing some better words. I wish I found some chords in an order that is new.
But the sound gets muffled when the device is placed facing up, as the speaker is on the backside of the device. Well, the device has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.1, a hybrid SIM card slot, micro USB, and interestingly enough, an infrared ray blaster, which is retained from the Redmi Note 3, which can be used to control home appliances such as the television and ACs with ease. The pre-installed Mi Remote app enables users to add multiple remote controls for different appliances and use them from the phone itself. The infrared ray blaster is rarer than NFC to find on devices, which is absent in this case. Now, moving on to the operating system and the user interface of the device. Xiaomi will receive the full-fledged over-the-air updates for the MIUI 8 somewhere around 23rd of August, which is supposed to be called a big game changer for their devices. The new update will bring a new lock screen and new notification and quick toggle panels amongst a lot many other things. But until then, the phone runs on Android 6.0.1 and MIUI 7.5 out of the box. There is lesser bloatware than compared to Xiaomi's earlier devices, which is really appreciated. And the old features like the single-handed mode, light mode and child mode are still present on the device. You may still be able to change your wallpaper from the lock screen only without unlocking the device and changing the same from the settings menu. Now let's talk about the fingerprint sensor on the device. The fingerprint sensor on this device is as fast and accurate as that on the Redmi Note 3. The only complaint is that the fingerprint sensor should have been placed a little lower than where it actually is present for the sake of convenience of users with average sized hands. But as already said, you will get used to it after using it for a while. Moving on to the camera department. The device features a 13 megapixel camera capable of recording full HD videos with an f2.0 aperture, face detection autofocus and a single LED flash on the back, whereas the front sports a 5 megapixel shooter with an f2.2 aperture, which is also as capable as the rear unit in 1080p recording. The pictures from the rear camera are decent enough, but wouldn't inspire the photographer in you. The pictures in good lighting conditions from the device are oversaturated and over-sharpened, whereas the picture quality under low light conditions is miserably poor. You may see for yourselves. But in well-lit artificial lighting conditions, the camera does the job, but still they aren't all that great. Focusing is quite slow, but the image processing is fast and covers up for the lack of speed. The front camera is good for selfies. Xiaomi's front camera's beautification mode does help you taking some good selfies. No complaints there. Well, the recording capability of the camera is decent, and here goes a sample for you. What we somewhat like about the camera is its user interface. Swiping to the right shows all the filters, while swiping to the left shows all the modes such as panorama, beautify and manual. Below the different modes is the option for camera settings, where it is possible to change things like camera shutter sound, save location and picture quality. Overall, the camera experience on this device is average, rather below average, because of its performance in low lighting conditions. But considering the price, what better could one expect? Moving on to the most impressive thing on the device. Of late, Xiaomi has become a name that focuses on battery life without fail. If you criticize this device for a smaller, lower resolution display earlier, you will praise it now. The phone has a 4100 mAh battery, slightly bigger than that on the Redmi Note 3. It lasts much longer than the latter. It runs for 2 days straight on normal use and 1.5 days on moderately heavy usage. Above all this, the device supports 5V 2A quick charging, so you need not worry about charging the device often. In conclusion, I must say that under 10,000 rupees bracket, the Redmi series has bloomed really well and the results are in front of you. The device is clad in a full metal body suit, has 3 gigs of RAM, 32 GB of internal storage, a fingerprint sensor, 4G voice over LTE support and a really long battery backup. What more could one want? It is, in our opinion, indeed the best phone to buy under the Rs 10,000 bracket. However, if you are very tightly bound by the budget constraint, then consider buying the non-prime Redmi 3S. The difference? For starters, it is priced around Rs 6,999 and secondly, it does not have a fingerprint sensor. And lastly, it has 2 gigs of RAM and a 16 GB of internal storage. For the asking price of Rs 8,999, the Redmi 3S Prime is as good as it gets. In summation, we feel that the Redmi 3S Prime will give really tough competition to the likes of Lenovo, Coolpad and Eco. So, that's all for now. Keep checking Flipkart or Google for further concerns regarding the Redmi 3S Prime's availability. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to In-Depth for more videos like this. We have a lot in store to talk about. So, stay connected, stay updated. Thank you and we'll see you in our next video.